So much joy when we are able to talk about how to pass NCLEX. Yes, this is How to Pass NCLEX, the best show if you are preparing to take your state nursing board exams soon. If it's your first time joining me, I'm so happy that you're here. My name is Regina Callion. I am the #1 NCLEX instructor on the planet. We will be going over medical, surgical, nursing NCLEX questions today. So I have 5 questions coming at you. Absolutely. I also like to do this thing called Monday Motivation. It's NCLEX Motivation. And I will be talking about the subject, easy doesn't pay well. Easy doesn't pay well. So hello, everybody. So happy to see you. So happy to see you here. Also, don't forget right now, we are doing ReMar Nurse University, where we are going over pharmacology. And that will be every Monday, including tonight. Yes, including tonight. We just have 3 more sessions left, so it's not too late for you to join in. Okay? So it is going to be an amazing class tonight. And we will be going over medications that are very important to you. Please, if you haven't gotten your workbook, you need to have this with you because this is where you'll be taking notes. I'm so glad. I hope that it's very helpful for you. So we will be taking notes, but you got to sign up for it. If you have not, most of you guys have. The sign up for this program is found by going to the very simple website, remarnurse.com/RNU. Okay. So I am super jazzed because we started ReMar Nurse University 2 weeks ago. So tonight will be the 3rd night, and over 30,000 nurses have watched those classes. So it's been a phenomenal turnout for us as studying together. Also, we have over 7,400 nurses in the virtual trainer. This is an amazing class, an incredible class, guys. You just, when I started the NCLEX virtual trainer, my goal was 10,000 nurses. And so every time I come on here on Mondays to do, how to pass NCLEX and go over NCLEX questions with you guys, the number just keeps getting higher and higher and higher. So hopefully by the time we get to September of this month, we'll be at our 10,000 goal. And I am just super jazzed about that. I'm super jazzed about it. So, again, please take advantage of the pharmacology. Please take advantage of the pharmacology Mondays. It's not too late for you to sign up for it. It's not too late for you to sign up for that event. And again, you need the workbook in order to be able to follow notes. All right. So you can sign up for it one more time at remarnurse.com, remarnurse.com/RNU. Let's get in there. Let's get signed up for it so that you are able to get started. You're able to get started. And again, 30,000 nurses have watched our first class, the pharmacology. Day 3 starts tonight. So make sure that you don't miss it. Okay, everybody, we're getting right into it on this day. Our first question is this. A client is receiving a dose of promethazine intravenously, and they report a burning sensation at the site. The nurse should take which action? Okay, so we're talking about promethazine. Your client has a complaint. the nurse should take which action? Is it going to be number one, dilute the medication by adding additional saline to the medication bag? 2, slow the infusion rate and reassess within minutes. 3, assess the site, and if no swelling is noted, restart the infusion. Or 4, discontinue the infusion and removes the intravenous catheter. So what is the best? What's going to be best for the nurse to do for this specific client complaint? I see the answers rolling in. Welcome to How to Pass NCLEX. Also, your Monday motivation will be delivered. I'm so glad I can meet with you guys live. This is an incredible time to try to become a nurse. All right. Okay. So the correct answer, people, is going to be, some of you got this one correct. It is going to be POW. Number 4, the nurse needs to discontinue the infusion and remove the intravenous catheter because there is a high risk for chemical damage to tissues, all right, with intravenous promethazine. So if a client is saying that they feel burning, this is an instance where you have to stop giving the medication. All right. You have to stop giving the medication and find a new IV site. Find a new IV site. Yes. This is all about studying with that virtual trainer. So you may have seen this question in the virtual trainer. It is what it is, right? So let's do another question. If you didn't get that right, look over promethazine and make sure that you're familiar with what kind of medication this is. All right. Let's do the second question here. We're going to keep on rolling. It says, a nurse interviews a newly admitted client, adolescent client, to collect a health history. The nurse should follow up on which statement? So we have a nurse interviewing a new admission. The admission is a teenager. What statement needs follow-up? Number 1, when I am stressed out, I like to go on a date. 2, my mood is always changing. 3, I have a lot of trouble waking up in the morning. 4, I only eat vegetables and I have lost 10 pounds in the last 3 weeks. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let us consider what needs a follow-up. What needs a follow-up? Okay. It would be some people say number 1, when I'm stressed out, I like to go on a date. What about number 2? A lot of people are picking number 2. My mood is always changing. Okay. What about number 3? I have trouble waking up in the morning. Is that common for teenagers, or is that something that we should be worried about? All right. All right. Number 4, I'm so happy that you guys are here studying with me. Share this video right now if you love NCLEX questions. All right. Number 4, I only eat vegetables. I've lost 10 pounds in the last 3 weeks. Hey, is that a good thing? Some of us may want that. Some of us might be looking at that saying, doesn't sound bad to me. All right. But for this specific client, we're going to follow up with number 4. Okay. Because for the adolescents, you know that they are growing. And eating only vegetables can lead to nutrient deficiencies. Yeah, some people say the protein, where are they getting their protein from? They may be getting it from plants. You can get protein from plants, but we don't know. We need to figure it out. The nurse needs to assess the client's nutrition further. Okay, so remember when, so number 4 is the correct answer, everybody. Remember when we are talking about these follow-up statements, right? We're looking for things that are incorrect, things that strike us as abnormal, things that we need to educate the patient on. So follow-up, what kind of statement needs re-education, reorientation, further evaluation? These are the wrong statements. So if you have a teenager, when I'm stressed out, I like to go out on a date. That's pretty common with adolescents, right? They don't like to be home anyways. So they like to go out on dates with their peers. 2, my mood is always changing. Hey, when I look at the other choices, I think that this one is okay for the teenage client. They have hormonal fluctuations that can affect how they are feeling. Okay, that can affect how they are feeling. 3, I have a lot of trouble waking up in the morning. Oh my goodness. That is common to teenagers because what do they like to do? They like to stay up late at night. They don't want to go to bed at 8 o'clock. Teenagers are up until past 1, right? So that is common for them as well. I have a 6-year-old. Sometimes she doesn't like to get up in the morning. So I find that this in young people is common. Number 4, though, however, is striking to us. We need to follow up on this statement. Let's do another question. I have it for you right now. Question number 3 says, an older client cared for by family appears dirty and malnourished. What type of abuse might the nurse suspect? Is it number 1, sexual? Is it number 2, physical? Is it number 3, emotional? Or is it number 4, neglect? Okay. Do you know the difference between all of these forms of abuse? Do you know the difference between physical and emotional abuse? Do you know the difference between physical abuse and neglect? What are you guys thinking here? Okay. Because it just really says the client appears dirty, okay, and malnourished. So just based off of those characteristics, we don't want to over-assume what could be happening with the client. But there is one that's pretty close. Yeah, there is one that's pretty close. People say 2. I see the answers get down between 2 and 4. And most people can do it. They can get it down between 2 and 4. But if you get it down between those 2, you got to go with your gut. And so here, guys, the correct answer is going to be another number 4. Yes, this is number 4. And so the answer here is neglect. Now, if you can identify neglect, then you can also go on further to identify, hey, what is the cause of clients being neglected? Okay, what are the signs of clients being neglected? What is the treatment of being neglected? So these are all things that really get you on great starting points, in order to be able to further demonstrate your competency. All right. So neglect of the older client occurs when a caregiver fails to meet the client's, basic needs of food, clothing, shelter, and hygiene. And some of you didn't get this one correctly. So you know this is a topic that you want to go back and study. All right. Know this is a topic that you can go back and study. All right. Let's try a different question. We're going to move all over the age spectrum here. So our next question is, the nurse performs a developmental assessment on a 15-month-old client. Which finding causes the nurse's concern? Okay. So is it number 1, unable to put on clothes? 2, speaks in one-word sentences. 3, unable to run or hop. Or 4, unable to stand for 2 seconds. For 2 seconds, okay? So which of the following is going to cause the nurse some concern for this client? Okay. All right. So you have a 15-month-old, right? So what do we normally expect them to be doing at this time? Right? What are our developmental milestones that we need to have our client doing? And so don't skip these. Do not skip these when you're preparing for NCLEX, because they can come at you and they can be quite challenging. All right. They can definitely be quite challenging for you. But if you're feeling comfortable and you're getting this right, or then guess what? This is an area that you're doing really great in. All right, that you can feel comfortable and you can feel confident in. So the correct answer here is number 4. Good job, everybody. Yes. The studying has been paying off. All right, so at 15 months old, we would expect the child to be able to stand momentarily, at least, if not walking. They should be able to take even a couple steps. But if they can't stand up for 2 seconds, well, then the nurse needs to further assess. Maybe their ankles are not developed. Maybe their leg muscles are not developed strong enough to hold them up. They'll come in. They were not able to stand up. What does that further assessment look like? What should we tell the parents during this time? Do we tell the parents that, hey, your child has an abnormal assessment? Okay. And then they start to get like, okay, well, what's going on? What's going on? How do you handle that situation? And so these are all the considerations. But if you know your developmental milestones, then these questions are very easy for you. You're able to pick them out. And that's always the goal. My goal is not to come on here and just give you guys questions that I know you can't answer. I can write any kind of question on this planet. I can make it extremely difficult. And then at the end of how to pass NCLEX, you guys all feel defeated, like you're not going to pass. That's not the goal of what I do here. I want to present you information so that you can make an evaluation whether you are competent in an area or not. Because if you're competent in an area, then you can move on to something else. That's all questions do. They just reflect where you are. All right. So keep that in mind, guys. All right. Question number 5 says this. An adult client with cystic fibrosis is prescribed pancreatin. Which explanation does the nurse use for the medication purpose during administration? Okay. All right. So number 1, facilitates digestion. 2, suppresses secretion. 3, decreases chronic cough. Or 4, relieves constipation. Now think about with cystic fibrosis, what kind of issues do these patients have? What kind of issues do these patients have? These patients have issues with mucus buildup, right? So which 2 body systems, if you have your quick facts book, which 2 body systems are most affected when it comes to cystic fibrosis? What are they? Okay. The 2 body systems are going to be the respiratory system and the digestive system, right? So these systems get blocked up with mucus. They get blocked up with heavy, thick mucus. Yes, respiratory and digestion. So what is this particular medication going to do for your patient? Okay. All right. So with this particular medication, it's going to help your patient to, it's going to help your patient to, number one, facilitate or aid in the digestion process, because clients with cystic fibrosis, they can become malnourished very quickly because they're not able to absorb the nutrients through the food, right? Through the gastrointestinal tract, which is how you are supposed to get your nutrients. Now, I want to lead that into tonight's class because we will be preparing to go over TPN, which is a huge topic, right? Which is a huge topic for the NCLEX exam. So make sure you are attending ReMar Nurse University this month, particularly because we are focusing on anatomy. We are focusing on the pharmacology. And so those two subjects go hand in hand. If you don't understand anatomy, you're really going to struggle with pharmacology. Okay, so definitely make sure that you are at tonight's class. All right. So if you got a 4 out of 5, if you got a 5 out of 5, I am happy with your performance today. Hey, I want to shout out Nurse Tracy. If you guys saw the Facebook page, she is an amazing new ReMar nurse. She says, I passed NCLEX in 60 questions with the NCLEX virtual trainer. It gave me all the content, which is what you need to approach any NCLEX question. You guys see that, you need to know the content. Long story short, God and ReMar is everything you need. Nurse Tracy, hashtag new nurse, hashtag who's next? I have the next person, actually. It is Nurse Gaby is also getting her ReMar roses. All right, giving you guys roses here. Nurse Gaby, she says, I am an international nurse from the Philippines, and I applied to the Florida board for my second attempt. You guys know the Florida Board of Nursing is tough because they only give out 3 chances. So for her second attempt. Now, this is the amazing thing about Nurse Gaby that I love. She says, I studied for months, but I passed the NCLEX RN, all right? NCLEX RN after 23 years of being out of school with ReMar NCLEX virtual trainer, okay? Listen, what excuse do you have? Oh my goodness. This is an all-time record, right? So she says, God bless ReMar and family. Nurse Gaby representing the Philippines here. Who's next? Oh my goodness. All right. Nurse Aridan. I can't skip her. Nurse Aridan. Okay. She says, so people were saying, I'm next. Nurse Aridan is next. She says, after having my temporary license for months, thanks Corona, I was finally able to sit for my official license. So this is one of the nurses that got her temps and started working. Okay. She said, my anxiety was through the roof and I left feeling defeated. Well, we all know that it's common, right? God is doing big things up there. She said, I drove 4 hours just to test, but it was so worth it. Wow. Okay. Thanks to everyone who kept me motivated. I used ReMar's virtual trainer to study for my content. She said, I moved my date up. She moved her date up and passed the first time. Thank you, ReMar, for reviewing every topic that needed to pass. The whole time I said to myself, I can, I will, I must pass NCLEX. So Nurse Aridan, hey, who is next? who is next to get their ReMar roses. I see the comments on the screen. I see the comments, the hearts. Everybody is so excited to say, I'm next. I can't wait to give you your roses, read your testimonial. That is what it's all about. Man, 4 hours. I mean, we had some amazing testimonials, okay? There's Tracy. She passed in 60 questions. That's like the dream. You want to pass NCLEX after the 60, just be out of there. Nurse Gaby had been out of school for over 20 years. You know, most of my life, she had been out of school doing all kinds of stuff, but then she just took it back to the content and was able to pass her NCLEX RN exam. Now she can go anywhere. She's in the Philippines, but she could travel anywhere with her new license. And then Nurse Aridan was working, got her temporary license, which, you know, you get out there, you start working, you can forget a lot of stuff, but she passed on her first try. So all good things. I'm really, really, really excited to see who's next. I can, I will, I must. All right, virtual trainer, if you don't have it, I saw somebody post this today. Listen, it's on sale right now, 75% off. So that literally drops the value, all right, price. Yes, the value price from $474 to $149. That's it. You can only get the virtual trainer at remarnurse.com. Do not purchase an imitation and then be upset when the instructor is not me. If you purchase a virtual trainer and I'm not the instructor, you're in the wrong place, okay? If I'm not your NCLEX instructor, it's not the ReMar virtual trainer. So don't get duped. For some reason, there are a lot of frauds out here. All of a sudden, you can see them everywhere saying, hey, we got leaked NCLEX questions. Hey, we got our own virtual trainer. I'm telling you guys, don't fall for the okie doke. Make sure you get your virtual trainer right at remarnurse.com. You can do it. All right. So our NCLEX motivation is simply this, guys. Oh my goodness. There's so much going on right now, but let me tell you, the things that are easy typically don't pay well. Okay. They typically don't pay well. And so here's what I mean when I say that. Okay. Because sometimes people think easy is good. Good is easy. Easy is good. Good is easy. All right. Okay. So here's some examples of easy not paying well. Okay. Watching Netflix every day after you get off work. That's easy. I mean, who doesn't love Netflix? I have Netflix. I enjoy it. But Netflix has an appropriate time, an appropriate limit. You cannot watch Netflix for 6 hours straight and then think you're going to have progress. And this is coming from somebody who has Netflix. It's easy to watch Netflix. You turn it on, it pops up, and we have different profiles. So Netflix asks you, is it the kids watching? Is it Regina watching? Is it Mark watching? Is it Mark and Regina watching? I mean, it caters to whatever you want to do. But I have to think about when I turn on Netflix, am I paying Netflix or am I paying myself? Right? And so that's the mentality that I have with everything. Like, am I giving my time, which is my wealth? My wealth is my time, to somebody else, or am I using it for myself? So watching Netflix after work every day is easy. Okay. Some of us, we got to let the Netflix go. Okay. Also skipping the gym. Hey, skipping the gym and eating comfort food. Oh my goodness. That is so easy. But is it doing anything for your mental health? When you're studying this medication and you're studying, these laboratory values, and you're trying to make sense of psychiatric concepts, your mind needs to be clear. Your mind needs to be focused. And so you really need to be thinking, is the stuff I'm putting in my body helping me to have a clear mind? Or am I putting garbage in? Am I putting garbage in to fuel my brain, right? And you guys know my condition right now. I have these cravings. I want certain foods. I want to eat them a lot. But at the end of the day, if I'm eating foods and then I'm too tired or I'm too, groggy or I have a sugar-induced coma, how much studying am I going to do? Not very much. Okay. So the easy things, all right? The easy things, not working on your business right now, you guys are in the business of getting your nursing license. That's your business. That's all the business that you really have. All right. Because honestly, if you don't have a licensed profession, right, then 9 times out of 10, you're working for somebody else. And so once you get that license, whether you know this or not, you guys become instant entrepreneurs because you know what? You have a product now, and your product is your knowledge. Okay. And so when you have your nursing license, then you become marketable. You become your own CEO of your life, and you determine, okay, I have a nursing license. I'm a registered nurse now. I can choose where I want to go. I should be choosing, okay, how much do I want to work for? Do I want to work for here where I make $25 an hour? Or do I want to work for here where I make $32 an hour, but I have to work nights and weekends? And so you have to be able to see yourself as a future entrepreneur. I mean, the coronavirus, if it didn't show you anything else, it showed you that there are certain professions that can work no matter what. It will have showed you that if you choose a certain path for your life, not a virus, not a pandemic, not a hurricane, not a flood, not an economy, depression, nothing can take away your ability to build wealth. And so I need you guys to see your nursing license as that key to pull yourself up out of any situation. All right. Because you guys have the knowledge. And the great thing about it is you guys have the knowledge. You got these questions right. Okay. You know the information, but are you applying it for the betterment of yourself and people around you? All right. So your business right now, you are the CEO of getting your nursing license. And if you get it done, then you're a good CEO and your company is doing well. But if you don't get that nursing license, then you're ineffective in your position. Okay. And nobody else is going to sign up to manage your life. Nobody else is going to come in and make you study. Nobody else is going to come in and tell you, go ahead, schedule that test date. Who was it? Nurse Aridan drove 4 hours. She had to make that decision for herself. She had to be the CEO of her life. And so you guys know this. I mean, very few people will even come on and motivate you. I'm the only NCLEX instructor on this planet that is here every Monday telling you, get yourself together. It's time to get your nursing license. Okay. The only one. So think about how scarce it is, how rare it is for somebody to come into your life and take that exam for you. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And it's actually quite illegal for somebody to do that. Okay. All right. So not studying for NCLEX is easy. I'm not even going to go in on this. I'm not even going to say anything about this. We all know not studying. Okay. We all know not studying for NCLEX is easy. It's just as easy as anything else you want to do. You can ignore the books. You can ignore the lectures. You can ignore the questions, all of it, and go about your regular day. But I guarantee you, if you do that, right? You ignore these books, you ignore this training, you will wake up in 365 days later, be in the same place. You will wake up and you will feel like, why am I living a life that I don't want to be in? Why am I not? And these are just materialistic things, you guys. I know you guys see people on TV taking vacations, living their best life, and you know you belong there. You belong with that group. I tell you guys all the time, I should be able to say, okay, ReMar nurses, we're all going to Jamaica next month. We're going to just hang out in Jamaica for a week, just rest, relax, talk about nursing, whatever. But I can't do that with you guys if you're still studying for NCLEX. I can't do that. It would be totally irresponsible. And it's not even about the money. It's about the principle. I need everybody to be effective CEOs. We can't have a CEO vacation retreat if you're not really an effective CEO. So at the end of the day, easy doesn't pay well. Okay. Easy doesn't pay well. So if you want to be paid well, you need to do something difficult. You need to do something hard. All right. And that hard thing is passing NCLEX. It's your time today. I have people taking their NCLEX today. Let me tell you, today is your opportunity. Don't waste it. Don't let anything come in and destroy it. You worked so hard for it. You waited so long for it, right? When people's dates are being canceled, you have an opportunity. Don't blow it. There's a lot of us waiting to hear your testimony. And so you get to a place where you just have to make a decision. I'm either going to go left or right, or I'm going to go forward. So let's go forward today. All right. And that's just kind of like a message to this entire situation that we're dealing with as a country. I mean, honestly, to be all honest with you guys, if you're African American, if you're Black right now, it is extremely difficult to focus and study for NCLEX. It is extremely difficult to really get into a mindset where, you have peace, you're calm. If you're watching anything on the news, you're torn mentally. Yesterday. Okay, so this is what happened yesterday. Yesterday, I went to a rally, right? It was a peaceful protest, and I took you guys along with me. Okay, I took you guys along with me. I said, nurses can do something. Nurses can do something. There's a huge injustice in this country. I don't even have to go into that really, but there's something wrong. There's something fundamentally wrong with the way that Black people are treated in this country. Now, is it a new thing? No. This country was built on racial discrimination, slavery, murder, injustices, legal criminalization of people based on the color of their skin. So this is the history of the country we live in, right? And so, we think of progress being made, progress having been made, and I can't deny it. I think this is the best time. This is like the best time to live in America, right? And be a minority. That's the truth. This is the best time to live in America and be a minority. But the reality of it is that even today, if you have brown or Black skin, you can be racially profiled, you can be discriminated against, you can be murdered, you can be charged with false crimes. Like, even in today's situation where we have, look at me. I'm a Black, I'm a female, I own my own company, I have people working for me, right, in this country. But at the same time, I can be in my bed sleeping. The police can come in, shoot me in front of my children and my husband, kill me, and then go home with nothing. Go home with no charges. Go home, order a delivery pizza, and nothing be done about it. And so there is something that is wrong. There is something that needs to be acknowledged. And so as a nurse, I have a responsibility to keep people safe. And it doesn't matter to me the color of those people's skin. If a person comes into a hospital and I'm a nurse, whether they're white, Black, brown, purple, yellow, whatever, I need to keep them alive. That's my duty. So I went to a peaceful protest because, number one, it was peaceful. It was in my community. I knew the organizers. All right. And I took my children with me so that they could see this civil rights march taking place. All right. And so I just encourage every nursing student to think about it, be willing to acknowledge the problem. All right. Be willing to acknowledge the problem and be willing to participate. Okay. Be willing to participate. And I just want to go back to this. It is very tough. It is very tough right now. If you're watching the news, if you're living in a city with a curfew where you can't go out. I mean, we already have been in the house for weeks because of the coronavirus. We couldn't go out, right? And so now you can't go out because the businesses are destroyed. I mean, we held a peaceful protest in my city, but there were still people who came from outside of our city to cause disruption. And so that's happening everywhere. That's happening everywhere. And so if you're Black right now, you got a lot of things on your mind. But I need you guys to remember this. This is not the first time that people had to be strong. This is not the first time that we had to endure. We had to endure pressure. We had to endure this being in a position of, okay, we can stay here, or we can try to make progress forward and do something that's difficult, to do something that's hard. So, yes. So I took my children because, number one, we were studying civil rights. And so, you guys know I homeschool my kids. I want them to know their history. And so we were reading this book called The Youngest Marcher, and it was about the civil rights movement in the 50s and the 60s. And I said, you guys, you know what? This history is no longer your history. This is your present. This is your present right now. And so you need to be here to witness it. And oh my goodness, they really, my daughter, especially, she's 6. My son is 3. So he was just kind of there. He didn't really quite understand it, but it was a moment for him to see so many Black people just come together. And I could not let him not be there. But my 6-year-old got it. And she said, Mom, I packed my book bag because I was ready to go to jail, and I was ready to do that. And I'm like, no, you were not going to jail, but it's just this idea that as parents, how important is our history? And as Black parents specifically, and it doesn't matter, if you're Black, if you're Asian, if you're Hispanic, you have to teach your children their history, because literally it is becoming their present. It is becoming, I know, and I thought about getting away from this country. Honestly, I thought about getting away from this country too. Like I was telling Mark, let's look at Ghana, let's look at living in the Bahamas, let's look at living in the Caribbean. Is America the place for the Callions? And that's something that, every household has to consider. If things don't change, are you going to stay? Are you going to stay? What are you going to do? And so, so I was saying, we have to teach our children their history, because I know if I send my kids to public school, they will learn about Christopher Columbus. They will learn about his discovery of this new world. They will learn about, George Washington and him being this great first president. They will learn about, they just will learn the history that is recommended for this country. And I need them not to learn that history only. If we want to make a difference in our household, we have to understand what our children are knowing. And so my kids won't learn about that stuff first. They're going to learn about Africa. They're going to learn about how African people created math and science. And they're going to learn about how, the sacrifices and the scientists, and the people who studied the stars and all these things, first. And God, of course, in our house, they will learn about that stuff first. And so you have the tough task this week of, in the midst of all the chaos, still seeing the final goal. Okay. Still seeing the final goal, which is for you ultimately to be able to better yourself and those around you by becoming a nurse. It is your calling. It is your calling. And so you have to do that, because It doesn't matter if you're living in America or if you're living in the Philippines, or I think Mark wanted to visit Vietnam, right? He wanted to go there. It doesn't matter where you choose to go. I want to go to Africa. I've never been to Africa before. I would love to go there. As soon as this coronavirus is done, I'm traveling. I'm taking you guys with me. But once you become a nurse, you can do nursing anywhere on this planet. And that's the beauty of it. That is the beauty of getting your nursing license. So I am incredibly, incredibly excited for the future. That's the thing about it, is that when you have a mindset, and also when you know the Bible, you guys know I can get on my Bible platform, but when you know where everything ends up, you can be excited for the future. And so the things that we see right now going on, we all know that they have to take place. They have to take place. There has to be a resolution. There has to be progress. And so I don't want you guys to be so caught up in these temporary troubles that we have, that we lose the ultimate goal, right? The ultimate goal. And so that's one of the things that I love about being able to go live with you guys, and just have very relevant conversations. Okay. Very relevant conversations. Say, Nomi says, Vietnam, then please go to my country, the Philippines. Yes. The Philippines as well. I was actually invited to go to the Philippines, do a tour. I was supposed to do NCLEX reviews, like a tour of Asia, and do NCLEX reviews, but I had to turn it down because it was like March and then the coronavirus was coming. And so I was like, I can't do it. But so we're able to have relevant conversations that let us just, relieve the anxiety about what's happening, because it's happening all over. Protests are happening in America. Protests are happening in London and Berlin. And so our whole international audience is affected when one of us is affected. All right. So by God's grace, we can still continue to meet virtually. We can still continue to do our NCLEX reviews, our ReMar Nurse University. I can still see you guys in the virtual trainer making excellent strides. So we are not going to let anything distract us from this time. So tonight we will be having another ReMar Nurse University class. You don't want to miss it. 8 p.m. Eastern time. All right. 8 p.m. Eastern time. Bree, I love you guys so much too. Filipinos love Regina so much. I love you guys so much too. And hopefully we can meet in person. Again, please sign up for remarnurse.com/RNU as well. Really quickly, the virtual trainer right now is 90 days access for the incredible price. I hate to even show it, because you know what? When people see these videos, when we raise the price back up, people are going to see this video and they're going to ask for this price. The price right now is $149. And if you have the Quick Facts book, it's $129. And that is for 90 days access into the virtual trainer. Okay. So that is all yours for that price. Okay. Yes, Velma, I love you guys too. You have been rocking with me for such a long time. Oh my goodness. So literally, guys, $149 right now for the virtual trainer. That's just $1.60 a day. $1.60 a day for your 90-day access. Incredible value for the lectures, the homework, the books, everything. Don't miss your opportunity to study more with me. And I know you're going to love it. So before I get out of here, I'll see you guys tonight at 8 p.m. Don't miss it, Eastern time. You know it. I can, I will, I must pass NCLEX.